What's up, kind people of YouTube? My name is Ahmed and welcome back to yet another video. Today I want to talk to you about everything everywhere all at once. And let me just begin by saying everything everywhere all at once is peak nihilism and it does not shy away from it. How do I explain this really well? Okay, imagine building a sandcastle and you've made a very beautiful sandcastle and the wave comes, washes away, and that's it. Your sandcastle is gone. Now what do? Do you rebuild the sandcastle or do you continue to live your life and be like, it happened for a reason? Now, that is what nihilism is. Like, that is the preface of nihilism. It's not that simple, but I think that is the best way to put it as well. There are two ways to look at nihilism. One, the sandcastle was destroyed, so it's pointless. I will not make another one. The other way to look at it is sandcastle was destroyed. Let's make another one that was better than the last one and take a photograph of it. And those are the two outlooks at nihilism. And the way that works in this film is beautiful. Every character has a nihilistic point of view and it creates that perfect amalgamation of both the ideas of nihilism in the film. So why did this film work? Well, firstly, it's written really well. To make my point, look at the number of awards it gathered in the last 4 months that the award shows had. It had the Oscars, Golden Globes, BAFTAs, you name it, and everything everywhere has gotten every award there. So it's everything everywhere all at once. It's cleared the awards right there. So that just goes to show how well written the film is. And the only reason why it didn't win almost everything was the fact that we had Brendan Fraser in The Whale playing Charlie the way he did. But apart from that, I think everything everywhere lived up to the hype that was around the film. It was the best film that came out last year apart from The Whale, and I don't think there's any other conversation I would like to get into apart from those two films. Okay, yeah, there is a little bit of confusion as to how the time travel happens in the film, but I personally think everything everywhere all at once does the time travel very well. And the whole film is set up in two locations, if I'm not wrong, two major locations and then a couple of other locations over time, and they do a wonderful job going back and forth between those locations and creating a time travel paradox and solving it at the same time. And this boils down to how well the story is written. I don't think any other writer would have done justice to this. Of course, it's just not the writing that makes the film stand out. The execution of what was written is also done immensely well. The shots, the performances, the direction of the film, the sound design of the film, of course the actors who are involved in the film, all of these come together really well and the film feels real even though it's such an absurd concept. And the fact that there are so many absurd ideas in the film, you don't feel out of place while watching the film. The execution of the film makes you love the film a lot more than it should. Another aspect of the film that works really well is the editing. How they use editing to go between timelines is very interesting. The conversations could be happening between two different characters altogether. It could be happening between the two same people but very different characters. And if you've seen the film, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The sound design and the editing come together really well in this film and make the film so much better. I don't think I have seen editing and sound design work the way it does in this film in any other film. There is no other film that makes it work the way it does in this film. I hope that makes sense. Those are my nothing matters, so why do it? Nothing matters, so do it anyway are my outtakes from nihilism. So don't come at me because of it. And one of the reasons why I think this film works is because it shows both the sides of it. The mother and the daughter, both of them have a very interesting outtake on it. The mother and the daughter in the film are two opposing ideas, and how they change their perspective towards the end of the film is very interesting. In the first half, the mother is like, nothing matters, so do it anyway, and the daughter is like, nothing matters, so why are we doing it? And by the end of the film, it's opposite. The mother is like, nothing matters, so let's just do it anyway, and the daughter is like, why am I doing it? Because nothing matters. This transition from the first half of the film to the second half of the film makes the film stand out. I don't think any other film uses nihilism the way this film does, which is why I mentioned Everything Everywhere All at Once is peak nihilism. Of course, the performances of each of the characters is brilliantly done. The portrayal of the characters is beautiful. The portrayal of the culture, Chinese culture especially, has been done exceptionally well. The writing of the film is impeccable. The cinematography in the film is so beautiful. Like the fact that you are able to use one set, one major set, and then multiple other locations within a span of time and do it really well. One thing that I forgot to mention earlier that I would like to mention now is the fact that the fight sequences in the film are something to watch. I think a lot of films going forward should use this kind of fight sequences. It's all very well planned out. Of course, a lot of the films in the last 10 years, 12 years have been doing great fight sequences. We've seen some of the best fight sequences in the last decade or so. Apart from the Fast and Furious series, they are terrible. All the other series, especially John Wick, does a very good job in fight sequences. And in this film, having characters that are not really well trained in any sort of martial art but end up using martial arts, it led to a bunch of comic scenes. Because there were a lot of scenes that were really funny, like the finger. There was a scene where they fight using their finger, and that was hilarious to watch. Also, it led to a lot of good action sequences in the film. I don't think I've seen an action sequence that is so well organized and funny at the same time. That is my opinion on the film. I do hope that you've seen the film. I think it'll go down as a cult classic as well. I think it'll go down as one of the classics like Shawshank Redemption or The Departed in the next 5 years. A lot more people will be talking about this film in the future. Of course, it's won the Oscars and the Golden Globes and whatnots, but it will go down as a classic. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Do hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share it to people, and peace, and see you in the next one.